God is in the business of helping. God is in the business of empowering. God is in the business of rescuing. God is in the business of delivering. God is in the business of showing up. The precondition is us humbling ourselves. Peter wrote in the New Testament, he said, "Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God." God is mighty. He said, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, and in due time He will lift you up. And there's a tool that has been given to us biblically from the Old Testament to the New Testament. In the book of Joel it says, proclaim a fast, right? A holy season of fasting. Jesus says in the New Testament, in the Gospels, He says, when you fast, do it this way. Fasting is a tool that we have been given to humble ourselves before God, to show our incredible need of Him. Fasting is literally to abstain from food for a certain predetermined amount of time so that you can give that time to seeking Him only as your source. January 1st, we will be starting a 40-day window. I'm going to call it a 40-day window of fasting. Some of us will decide to fast for a week. Some of us will decide to fast for a day. Some of us will decide to fast for 21 days. Some of us will decide to fast for 40 days. And it can be any type of fast. Don't get legalistic about it. Nobody's more important than the other because of what they decide to do. But it's based on your faith and your desire to know God. If you've never fasted before, maybe you should start with 3 days or a week. But whatever you decide, it's okay to start there. But ask God, and He'll show you by faith what it is that you should do. You could do a Daniel fast, which is water and vegetables and fruit and some grains. You could do a Jewish fast, which is waiting till dinner to eat. Maybe you dedicate the first part of your day to God. You could do an absolute fast where you're on water only for a certain amount of time. Maybe you mix them. You do absolute for a few days. You do a Daniel fast, vegetables and fruit and water for 21 days. I don't know what you're going to choose, but I challenge you to do something. Set aside food for a time. Decide how long you want to go, and begin to replace that time with worship and prayer and study and asking God to speak. Have specific things that you're asking God to do during this time, because power is released when people fast. The disciples brought the demoniac boy, if you remember, in the Gospels to Jesus and said, we can't cast this one out. This demon isn't coming out. And Jesus looked at them and said, right, this kind only come out by prayer and fasting. And some of you have been hitting up against a wall of opposition, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your marriages, whether it's in your finances, whether it's addiction, and you haven't been able to break the cycle. You haven't been able to see freedom, and you're not going to unless you incorporate fasting. He said this kind only come out by prayer and fasting. So there are certain strongholds that Satan sets up that we can do everything we think we should do. Show up on Sunday morning, worship, pray, and even look the part. But without fasting, it's not going to break, because there's a level of power that is released when we fast in desperation and we humble ourselves that is unequaled in any other form of seeking God. We have resources available on the website. You can go to the website under resources and find the section that says downloadables, and the first resource under that section is a booklet on fasting. Download it, read it. You can go to the Connect table on Sundays and we have a booklet on fasting. I will be teaching the last Sunday in December on fasting before we start. So get ready, get excited. We're going to see breakthrough in 2018 because we're humbling ourselves before God, giving Him our first. Get ready.